I'm trying to obtain housing to where I'm not locked down with people with mental illness. Not all of us need a program. Some of us just wish we could go to Gateway and work, as I've heard some men complain about picking up trash, and they have a place to.
All right. So had a quick interruption, but
I assumed when I ran here that Gateway was unisex, because I've worked hard since I've been 15 years old. I've heard men complaining about picking up trash and they have shelter. I'm willing to do that. But instead, I lay here at this wall, praying for purpose, praying not to be locked down. I don't have an issue doing a curfew, but people don't realize a lot of these homeless shelters are full of people with mental illness, and we're locked down with that.
Well, I mean, have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health?
What's up, YouTube? Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Listen, if you want to support the channel financially, hit the super thanks button. Any amount is much appreciated. Now back to the content.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady out here today. How you doing today, miss?
I could be better, but I'm blessed.
All right. And so are you homeless?
I am.
Okay.
By proxy.
By proxy, okay. How old are you?
I'm 43.
43. And so how long have you been homeless?
For the last 3 months.
3 months. All right. And so what was it that happened 3 months ago that caused you to become homeless?
I'm running for my life, to save my life, my God-given life.
Tell me about it.
There's 15 women dead in Chillicothe, Ohio. No one knows why. And a girl come up missing, and her bones were found behind Greystone Motel in Hillsboro, Ohio. She went to the hospital complaining of stomach cramps. She went to the hospital and she was dismissed, and then she was found. Not herself, just bones. I went to the hospital complaining of seeing things, feeling things in my vagina. Dark web technology is being used on women, and they're being hunted. And people don't know about this.
Okay, so, and I get that, but how did that cause you to become homeless?
Because I ran, because I knew
so you
who my
ran from
culprit
Ohio,
was.
basically. Okay, who were you running from?
Randy Sanders, Chief Major Detective in Hillsboro, Ohio.
And so why are you running from Randy?
Because Randy put that technology into me and tortured me for 3 years until I ran. I ran to Georgia because Georgia's the only one that had a record of me. My whole identity had been erased as Heather Delgado, and Georgia had me as Heather Johnson. So I came back to Georgia.
Okay, so that's why you came here. So you say came back, so you was here before?
Yes, briefly. I got married here and left and moved and relocated. But I come back because I always felt Georgia was home.
Okay, so you got married here?
Yes.
Are you still married?
No, I'm not. 10 years, divorced for 4.
Okay, and so you lived here for 10 years?
No, I was married for 10.
Okay, how long did you live here?
I lived here for about 6.
About 6 of those years?
And the cost of living drove us away.
Okay, all right. How old were you when you got married?
I was, don't quote me, my 30s.
Okay. And so you guys were
37,
married for
36.
10 years. Do you have any kids?
I have one son. He's 14.
14? Who does he live with?
He stays with family. And I pray for him every day.
Okay. And as far as the dad goes, is
Very
the dad
involved.
Okay,
Yes.
so he's involved.
We co-parent well.
Okay. And so when was the last time you talked to the 14-year-old?
The last time I talked to my son was about a month ago.
About a month ago?
Because family doesn't believe that I was tortured behind dark web technology, that there's devices out here that can be put into women's bodies and controlled by drones from above.
Okay. All right. And so as far as it goes, I mean, was that the only time you were married?
No, second marriage, because I believe in partnership. I believe in monogamous relationships, God-given monogamous relationships, and sometimes, unfortunately, you grow apart when you're not with your God-given partner. So I'm praying for that.
So how old were you the first time you got married?
18.
Okay. Was that to like your high school sweetheart? How long did that marriage last?
7 years.
7 years? Why did it dissolve?
It dissolved because we grew apart.
You grew apart? Who filed for divorce?
I did.
You did? On what terms?
Both terms, both marriages, I did, because
What-
I realized that they weren't my God-given partner. But I wish them both the best, and that we are both
What made you come to that realization?
spiritually, there was something missing, that connection.
Okay. Was there infidelity or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
I'm a Scorpio, never.
What does that mean?
You know what? Google it.
I hear that. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So let's just start from the beginning. So where you from?
Hillsborough, Ohio.
All right, man. Shout out Ohio, man. Never been to Hillsborough, but shout out Hillsborough.
Tiny little village.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so growing up in Hillsborough, did you have both your mom and your dad in the household?
I did.
Okay. Were they married?
Yes, still are.
Still are there.
50 plus years and counting.
Okay. Do they still live in Ohio?
Yes,
Okay. And so, do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many?
3 brothers.
Okay. And where are you?
sisters.
No sisters. And so,
I'm
where
the
are you?
baby.
You're the baby. Okay. So they're all okay. So they're all older. Where do they live?
Hillsborough, Ohio.
So they live in Hillsborough as well.
I am the gypsy of the family.
Okay.
I am the black sheep.
Okay. All right. And so, growing up, would you say that you had a fairly normal childhood?
No, I would say I grew up in a very racist and seedy town, and I grew up talking like I do and being ridiculed for it by my brethren, my fellow black community, for the way that I talk, that I didn't talk black enough, or I talked too white, and then white people looking at me like, you're black. So, always trying to find that place to fit in.
I definitely understand that. All right. And so, did you go to high school?
I did and graduated.
Okay.
I spent
and-
20 years serving my community. I feel that healthcare professionals should be recognized as veterans because we served.
So you was a healthcare professional?
Yes,
In what capacity?
a phlebotomist and a medical assistant to where I took care of the elderly. But I'm burnt out. My body's burnt out. My time's burnt out.
So you went to like trade school? Did you do any college
Yes.
or university?
Trade school.
Trade school. Okay. That was a medical assistant.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so I guess you did that for 20 years. So that's how you earned income during that time.
Yes.
And those are the times when you was married and everything else.
Yes. And now I just want to go back to being a bartender / waitress, but it's hard to secure a job as people ridicule when you, as a woman, you're worried about how you're going to shower every day. I'm not trying to go to my job and shower at my job. I'm trying to obtain housing to where I'm not locked down with people with mental illness. Not all of us need a program. Some of us just wish we could go to Gateway and work, as I've heard some men complain about picking up trash. And
Hold on real
they
quick,
have
miss.
a place
Hold on
to.
All right. All right. So had a quick interruption, but so,
I assumed when I ran here that Gateway was unisex because I've worked hard since I've been 15 years old. I've heard men complaining about picking up trash and they have shelter. I'm willing to do that. But instead, I lay here at this wall, praying for purpose, praying not to be locked down. I don't have an issue doing a curfew, but people don't realize a lot of these homeless shelters are full of people with mental illness and we're locked down with that.
well, I mean, have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health?
PTSD.
PTSD?
From a child, from being accosted in a church at 10 years old. I was told that God hated me because I was black at Hillsborough Bible Baptist in Hillsborough, Ohio.
And so you was diagnosed with PTSD?
I was diagnosed with PTSD.
So when did you start having these ideas about dark web technology being inserted in you?
When I started seeing things,
Right,
like,
how long ago was that?
this was 3 years ago that this happened to me. Light poles breaking off and walking down the road.
So
We're talking about Halo.
So do you think that sounds like a mental illness?
No, it does. That's the whole point. But I know that there's people out there that realize that it exists. That Nintendo is in the eye. And that there are supremacy groups using this on people and they're targeting people. And in my area, they targeted people that have used drugs. I've smoked weed since I've been 14 years old to suppress my PTSD.
What other drugs?
It's God-given.
I get it, but has there been any cocaine?
No.
Any methamphetamines?
No.
Heroin?
No.
No pills?
No. I do not. I've never had any type of drug charge. I don't have any type of record, except that I've served my country.
Okay, serve your country. What do you mean when you say that?
By taking care of the people that don't take care of the people. Mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters that don't want to clean up behind themselves.
I get it, but I mean, when people hear that, they think military. And
well,
there may
I think
be
we should be recognized as part of the military because
you're
think about it.
You're not putting your life on the line.
We are. Our health.
The same way the military
Our
is.
health. When I go into a room, brother.
I'm not going to let you necessarily.
When I go into a room, brother, and you're coughing, I don't know what your ailment is.
I have family who's military, and that's a little bit more of a life on the line type thing rather than a health.
Well, there's a lot of people that's died from COVID, and I'm sure that they would be offended to that.
I get it. COVID is one thing, but
TB.
I think you said 3 years ago, so that was before COVID.
No, I'm talking about tuberculosis. I'm talking about things that are contagious out in the world that we put our lives on the line when we go into a patient's room to service you. We put our health on the line, and I think that should be recognized.
I get it. All right, and so. As a woman out here on the street, do men offer to have sex with you for money?
Yeah, $5. That's what the going rate is, ladies. $5.
Have you done it?
No. And what?
No, that's right. All right.
Some of us know our God-given value, and I pray for the sisters that are lost in it.
Okay, I hear that, man. I hear that. All right, and so at this point, what are we doing to try to get ourselves off the street?
We're doing what my grandparents said, prayer and networking. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be locked down in a drug program. I don't want to be locked down at all. I want to work and I need shelter. And this should be unisex. Gateway should be unisex.
Well, let me ask you this. Why not go back home? Sounds like your family is in Hillsboro.
Because I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. When you read through the Bible, do you read backwards or do you read forward?
You read both ways sometimes. I mean, the bottom line is this. It sounds like you would have help and support in Hillsboro, so why not go there? Because you're seeking help and support here.
Help and support wasn't there because they weren't being annihilated by dark web technology. And they wanted to believe that someone was in their prestigious appointment, that they could be trusted. But Joey Fender, my friend, knows different. And she told me different.
Okay. All right, man. Well, listen, we really appreciate you taking the time, answering all of our questions. If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way people could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App?
I have a Gmail, sunrain0071
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
All right. Well, like I say, we really appreciate you. We wish you nothing but the best out here, okay?
Praying for all my ladies.
All right. You have a good one.